Y'all like my new background?
Thought that I could chase you with a cold evening. Let a couple years water down how I'm feeling about you. And every time we talk, every single word builds up to this moment. I gotta convince myself I don't want it, even though I do. You could break my heart in two, but when it heals, it beats for you. I know it's forward, but it's true.
What is up? Welcome back to another video. It's Neewer, Gino, short for Regina, and we are back with another tutorial. Today's video is going to be simple yet really informative. I'm going to be showing you guys all the tips and tricks on how I do my foundation, skin / base routine. I don't know what it is. I've been getting a lot of questions, especially on my Facebook and my Snapchat, about my nose contour, highlighting and concealing versus contouring, my lip combination, just a lot of stuff concerning skin. So I decided what better way to address all of y'all's concerns and questions than to just do a video solely focused on the skin. Just to give you a little bit of background about my skin, I am dry. I have a lot of blemishes, dark spots, hyperpigmentation. I do have eczema, and it flares up really badly around my mouth and neck a lot. So just take that into consideration when I'm telling you some of the things that I do for my skin. I'm going to be showing you the products, the reason behind why I use the products, my specific technique. Always remember that you don't have to do literally anything that I do in this tutorial. You can switch up the products. You can use different things for different reasons, different brushes for different, parts of the face. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. If you learn something or if you take something from this video, okay, great. If you don't, I hope you get it figured out. But anyway, this is for the people who are interested in learning how to do the foundation / base routine. This video is going to be for you. Before we jump into the tutorial, I did want to mention that this video is also like a 2-in-1 because I'm going to be taking some product photos of my lashes. I am relaunching luxury extensions today or tomorrow. I hope to get it done today because that's what I said I would do. But if you're interested in the lashes I'm wearing right now, these are in the style Tear, and aren't they gorgeous? Oh my god. But if you're interested in the lashes and details on how to order, that information will be in the description box below, as well as a recap of all the products used in the video. And without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around and keep on watching. All right, you guys, so I have my brows drawn on, so let's start with the skin. I used to put foundation on my forehead, and I guess technically this is a foundation, but this is the Beverly cream foundation that I use to carve out the top of my brows. Now, instead of using a actual foundation that I'm going to put on the rest of my face, I just go ahead while I'm already working in this area and I just apply this on my forehead. So I'm just going to take a really small brush. I like to use this one right here. And I'm just going to, first and foremost, brush that product away from the brows. And then I'm just going to go in with this Beverly cream foundation in the shade medium. And I'm going to apply that all over my forehead. I'm using a small brush because, my boyfriend says I have a big forehead, but I don't think I have a very large forehead. And I want to be as precise as possible because, as I stated, I'm taking product photos today on myself. So that's why I'm using a really small, nice, precise brush. And as you can see, a little product goes a long way. And it really allows me to just be very detailed and precise. This isn't really important, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the next step. Out of all the primers that I use, I like this e.l.f. Prep and Blur Stick. I'm not a big primer person, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh my God, if you don't apply primer, it's going to make or break your foundation routine, because there have been many a times or many a months, years, I went without even using primer because I felt like it didn't make a difference. But I'm applying this one today because I guess it doesn't ever hurt it. It can only help it. To go in with the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer in the shade Deep Cinnamon. And this is what I like to do my color correcting with. I don't use orange that often anymore. I just simply use this. And really, with the foundation I'm going to be using, I could skip this step. Or you could skip this step, but I want to be as precise as possible today. And you'll notice a consistent trend with me. I always press the product in rather than rub it around like this. Because as you can see, the more you rub it around, the more sheer it's going to be. Me personally, I love coverage. I do have a new foundation. It's this Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. I think I'm going to do a video where I use that foundation, but for today, I'm going to just stick with the foundations I've been using up until this point. So I've been mixing the CoverGirl Queen Collection All Day Flawless Foundation. This is in the shade True Ebony. I've been mixing this foundation with the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation in the shade Caramel. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the back of my hand and then apply it. So as you'll see, I'm just mixing that foundation on the back of my hand, and I'm going to apply it with my foundation brush, just a nice even coat all over. If you didn't know, the whole point of foundation is to create a blank canvas for you to work on. It covers up any type of discoloration, any type of acne scarring. It just creates a blank canvas for you to work on. Essentially, it creates like a blank piece of paper so you can color on top of it. Then I'm going to go in with my concealer. The concealer I'm using is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This is a full coverage matte concealer. If you don't want to use the matte one, there is a hydrating one that you can use as well. That's a little more dewy on the skin. But the whole purpose of using concealer is to literally make those areas pop, the areas you want to come forward. So when we put on the foundation, we cover up any type of dimension in our face. We have to go back in and add that dimension to the face. And we do so by concealing to bring things forward. And then here you'll see me contouring. Contouring creates shadows. That's going to create the definition in the face. Now in this part, you'll see me using it. I'm carving out my cheeks, going down the sides of my nose and putting a little bit on my temples. We're just creating that definition that we lost by putting on the foundation. I'm going in with the e.l.f. powder brush, and I'm just going to start buffing all of that out. And I always like to work on my forehead. I like to move the product upward away from the face. And when I'm working with my contour, I like to brush the product upward up into the concealer. With my nose contour, I just brush it out with a nice brush, a nice fluffy brush, and I just go in and I gently buff it away until it's nice and seamless. You don't want any harsh lines or anything like that. And then once I'm done with that, we're going to go in with a second concealer. And the concealer we put down first, that one's just really to conceal. It's to hide. This concealer that we're using, I'm using the Maybelline New York concealer. This concealer is to highlight. So this one is the one that's really going to add that nice pop underneath the eye. Me personally, I like a bright eye under eye because I just like to look awake. I like my under eyes to look full, just to look healthy. So I'm going in, and what I'm going to do is just apply that concealer. It's also going to help with my nose contour because what I'm able to do is really just clean up the lines on my nose contour, blend them out, and get my nose nice and snatched. Then we're going to use the concealer in the shade Deep Cinnamon that we use to conceal with. And I'm going to use this to do a reverse contour. Essentially, all I'm doing is just cleaning up the contour that we made before, making sure that my face is going to be nice and snatched. You honestly don't have to do this. I was just being a little extra today because only thing I was doing was my skin. I wasn't doing any eyeshadow or anything like that. So you could skip this, but I like to do it because look how snatched and structured my face looks. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing what makeup can do. It's amazing what contouring and concealing can do for you. And don't you worry, I didn't forget about the concealer on my nose. I'm going to go ahead and just take my finger and I'm going to pat that into place. I like to let the concealer on the nose sit longer than the concealer under the eye because it just gives that concealer time to settle into that area. But All I'm doing is just checking to make sure that the lines are nice and clean. Everything's blended in really well, because now we're going to set everything into place. I'm using the I Heart Revolution powder in Banana and the Anastasia powder in Deep Peach. I like to take a nice tapered fluffy brush to put the I Heart Revolution powder underneath the eyes. And then I like to use the Anastasia Deep Peach powder, and I like to use that on the perimeter and the bottom part of my face. This is basically all that good work we just did with the concealers. This is just setting all of that into place. Depending on what type of skin you have, you may need to use less or more powder, but I'm the type of person, I really do not like to bake. So I just set everything in and move on. Now we're moving on to bronzing, contouring, and blush. The whole point of bronzing, contouring, and blush is to just solidify everything you did with the concealer, only solidify it with powder. So you'll see me using my Morphe and my Anastasia to do some bronzing, just to give the skin some of the color back. Then I'm going to use my Rimmel Maxi blush, and I'm going to apply that in the same place that I apply my bronzer. And then I'm going to use these BH Studio Pro powders. One is in the shade 250, and I like to use 250 underneath the eyes. The other powder from BH Studio Pro is in the shade 255. It's a little bit darker than 250, and I like to use it on the bottom portion of my face. Then I'm going to go into the Evian setting spray. Just set everything in, give my skin a nice mist, get rid of any powdery looks or anything like that. And then we're going to actually apply blush where it's supposed to be applied, which is to the apples of the cheek, using the Morphe Trio Blush palette. Using my Makeup Revolution Pro HD Amplified palette, I'm going to take some of the golds in that palette and do a nice subtle yet popping highlight. And I'm just using an Eco Tools brush to do that. Once you apply that, it's pretty much it for the skin. So let's focus on the lips. All right, and for the lips, I can't tell you how many questions I get about my lip combo. Here it is. I'm using the Wet n Wild lip pencil in dark brown, and I'm going to outline my lips with that pencil. The whole point and the whole key to my lip combo is to do a dark, heavy liner on the outside. The contrast between the heavy line and the pale lip is what makes it so iconic to me. Once I have on the dark lip liner, I'm going to take NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Transylvania. This is like a really, really deep purple. And right where I outline the lips with the Wet n Wild pencil, I'm going to go into that same area with the purple. Then I'm going to take this Nicki K Whipped Cream lip gloss, lip cream. It's in the shade Coyote, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that to my lips first. And then I'm going to apply on top of that the Essence lip gloss, and I think it's in the shade Hot Chocolate. Now you see why when people ask me, what do you have on your lips? What's on your lips? There's always like a mix of 3, sometimes 4 products on my lips. But that's the whole lip combination. If you have any questions, comment down below. All right, guys, so that completes this tutorial. I know this look doesn't look like much right now, but of course, lashes always make a huge difference. I'm actually about to put on lashes right now, so if you want to see the full completed look with lashes included, all you gotta do is stick around to the end and watch the outro or the intro. If you have any questions about anything that was used in the video, any techniques, why I did what I did, you can certainly always comment them down below. Of course, I always want to remind you guys that you don't have to do the same thing as me. You don't have to follow the same process as me. You don't even have to do anything I say. Literally, makeup comes off, it goes on, it's fun. Just don't take it too seriously. If you are here and you stuck around to the end, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.
Shy, thought that I could chase you with a cold evening. Let a couple years water down how I'm feeling about you. And every time we talk, every single word builds up to this moment. I gotta convince myself I don't want it even.